Attention bubbleheads, sailors, and all military personnel. Enjoy truish, lighthearted, and funny adventures from life at sea, told by Mr. Durite himself. So pack your sea bags and rig the ship for dive. It's time for another sea story with Mr. Durite. I think they're ready for you.
Welcome back to Sea Stories with Mr. Durite. I am your host, Mr. Durite, and today's show, you hear that? Now I bet you saying to yourself, man, I remember that sound. I remember that way back in the day. And if you're on the boat watching this, you're probably saying, damn, he just fucked up my arm going with that. That's right. Today's show, General Quarters. That's right. I guess I like saying that's right. So today, I just wanted to talk about some fun stuff I seen during drills on the boat. We ran drills on the boat because we had to be prepared for anything and everything. We had to train. The only way you can be ready for anything was to train and to run drills. And we ran drills on the boat all the time. Fire drills, flooding drills, reactor scrams, all sorts of drills. So we can be ready, so if the real thing happened, we will be on point. Since it's just a simulation, sometimes we run into some, technical difficulties sometimes, I guess. Or we have to be creative on how we make or use simulations because we are on a damn submarine and we can't have a real fire. We have to come up with ways to simulate a fire. But we're going to talk about all of that stuff. Because I'm going to talk about 5 different things I've seen on the boat during drills. The first one I want to talk about usually happens during fire drills. And just like any fire, you have to have somebody dressed out in fire gear. You know, you see TV, you're passing by somewhere and there's a fire going on. You see the firemen come out there and they got their raincoats and their overalls on and everything and the boots. Well, we had the same thing on the boat. And when a fire broke out, you had 2 teams. The rapid response team, those guys just showed up. EAB, which was just a breathing mask. You would hook up to the ship's air and you could breathe so you wasn't overcome with smoke. And you would fight the fire with fire extinguishers. While you're trying to do that, another team is breaking out the hoses and stuff. And then the second team comes up in the fire gear to fight the fire if the rapid response team hadn't put it out yet. Pretty simple. You are dressed from head to toe. You got the fire hood on, you got the jacket, you got the overalls, and you got all your poopy suit and everything else underneath that. You got the boots on. You are prepared to fight this fire. There's 3 compartments on a submarine. You got the forward end, you got the reactor compartment, you got the aft end. Aft end is where the engine and all the stuff that makes the boat move located. And all that stuff is hot because there's steam involved in that. That engine room gets hella hot. Keep that in mind. Now, we have ventilation that circulates air all throughout the boat to keep us cool. And when there's a fire, that cuts off. Engine room, hot. Ventilation, cool. Turn it off, hotter. Fireman suit, holy shit. You go back into that engine room, you better have hydrated for 3 days straight because all of it is getting ready to come out instantly. If you want to diet, if you want to lose some weight, put on a fireman suit and go step in a sauna. Because that's what you're pretty much doing when you go back aft in a fire suit. When those dudes come from out of there, drenched, just sweated out, exhausted, pull off their boots, take their boot, pour out the sweat. Seriously, I've done this. The tripped out thing was the fire was up forward and I was back aft and I didn't have any assignment, so I was an extra and somebody said, Stuart, go and dress out, but don't put your jacket on, just put the pants on and the boots. I was sweating so much that I damn near passed out. It was ridiculous. Then, this was during tree. The drills weren't short, when nobody's watching, you run the drills, bop, bop, bop. You do good, you do bad, whatever, the drill is over quick. But when tree happens, I don't know what the hell they doing. They want to see every little thing you do. So a drill can last an hour and a half. Now imagine an hour and a half in the engine room, no ventilation, in half a fireman suit. Holy mackerel. Man, I lost 5 pounds, but it was only from the waist down. You know how they say, oh man, it's a cold day. Yeah, let it be real hot too and watch you get the same shrinkage. The second funny thing I seen on the boat, and you're going to think I'm crazy, but I'm going to say it anyway, is an EAB daisy chain. Now, I told you about an EAB and what it's used for emergency breathing. And you get a hose, and we have these spigots up in the overhead. You pull off the dust cover, you plug it in, and you can breathe, right? Well, on the back of it, right there at your hip, there's another spigot, so if somebody comes up behind you, they can plug into you. Pretty simple. A bunch of people can be all daisy chained together with one person with their hose in the spigot. You see where this is going? Well, I've seen sometimes, because there's not a lot of room to maneuver on a submarine, and you fighting a fire, you got a lot of people trying to fight this fire. There's no getting back and forth. You know, you barely can squeeze by people, so somebody could be plugged in, and then somebody else got to go by, and so there's no spigot close by, so they have to plug into you. Then somebody else comes, and there's no spigot around, and they plug into them. And next thing you know, you can have 10 to 12 people all daisy chained together, getting all tangled up in hoses and stuff, trying to do stuff and move around. And it really gets pretty stupid. But the worst part about that daisy chain, if the fool who's hooked up to the spigot decides he's out of there and forgets that everybody is connected to him. Holy shit. Being an EAB and you breathing and stuff, and your breathing's a little bit faster, especially if you're in a heightened situation and you trying to get something done and you trying to pull that air through that mask. Let somebody disconnect that shit while you're in the middle of a breath. You will lose your damn mind. I guarantee that mask is coming off. Dude, that is the worst buddy fucking you can ever give somebody, is to pull that EAB out while you got a whole bunch of people connected to you. Boy, you better be tapping somebody on the shoulder. Hey, I gotta go. Hook up. The third thing I wanted to share with you is not so much funny, but I guess it can be funny, is drill cheating. You probably saying, what is drill cheating? How can you cheat drills? Oh, it's pretty simple. Drills weren't a mystery on the boat. You knew when drills was coming. A lot of times we had our drill right before field day. So they didn't have to say reveille up all bunks. They call away fire in the engine room. They call fire in the dryer or something like that. You getting out the rack regardless. If you know when drills are coming, a lot of times people wouldn't go to the rack. They're like, oh man, I ain't gonna go to the rack because I know we're getting ready to run a drill, so I'm gonna just stay up. That's drill prepping. Some people said, hey, I'm gonna go to the rack, but they don't take off their clothes. They get in the rack with their pooper suit on and their boots and stuff, waiting for the drill to go down. As soon as the drill go down, you jump out the rack and they hit the floor running. Drill cheating. My chief told me one time, and I took it to heart after that. He said, we don't stay up for drills. And that's a true statement. The reason why I say it's a true statement is because you can know they're going to run drills. They can have it posted in the plan of the day they're going to run drills. And for some reason, they might not run drills. So you sitting up here waiting for them to run drills, you losing out on sleep and everything, you getting ready to go on watch, and you like, oh, they finna run drills at any moment. Or you laying in the rack and you're not closing your eyes because you're like, oh, them drills are gonna go down any second. They finna go down. And they don't, your ass is screwed. Go to sleep. I guarantee that one of them C is gonna wake you up. I guarantee that alarm is gonna wake you up. Why the hell are you gonna stay up and wait for that bullshit? Especially if it don't happen. And the funny thing is, man, over 50% of the time, the drills didn't happen. You know? So why would you stay up if the odds are in your favor to get some sleep? Hell, you don't even know what time. They could happen right at wake up. So why waste all that time worrying about it when you could be up there sleeping? Because sleeping is a good thing, especially when you don't get a lot of it. Yep. Now, here's one that I definitely know is funny. And it's strange as hell. You know, a lot of times we ran drills, but sometimes they actually call away a real fire. And if they call away a fire, 90 to 95% of the time, they calling away a fire in the dryer. You know, we had a wash machine and dryer, and it wasn't big. It was a small, and it was a stack set, and the dryer was on top, and you had to make sure you cleaned out the lint trap and stuff. Right? Okay. But they still had lint in there, and for some strange reason, on a submarine, that damn dryer and that damn lint would catch fire way easier than it would, say, in your house. There was a lot of times they called away fire in the dryer. Now, it wasn't no big flaming fire. It was just a little something put out real quick. But I swear to you, damn near 90% of the times they did call away fire in the dryer, somebody showed up naked. No shit. It never failed. You show up to that fire and somebody sitting up there with just a towel on or nothing at all but some boots. And it's like, how the hell you show up naked, but you got your boots on? I mean, what? I mean, granted, I guess you don't want your feet to melt from the hot deck and stuff, but aren't you worried about other stuff getting burnt? What, you finna hose it down? Oh, man. And the last thing I want to share with you is the simulation props, man. Let me tell you something. They got some interesting things, and I guarantee you to this day, they are coming up with all kind of interesting things for drill simulations. I've seen a lot of fire simulations where they have like red strobe lights or rope lights wrapped around stuff to simulate fire. It was funny, you know, seeing some of these things and how creative the chiefs were to come up with cool simulations. But they weren't always cool or high tech. And see, that's probably what you're thinking. Oh, the military is high tech. You know, I was watching that Will Smith movie, Focus, the other day, and they were talking, and it's like, yeah, we got military grade fiber. And I was like, what the fuck is military grade fiber? Because all the fiber I saw looked just like the damn fiber in every other building. So I don't know what they talking about. Maybe there is military grade fiber. You know, maybe it's bulletproof or something. I don't know. I was in the military. I ain't never saw it. So maybe I was in the wrong military. I don't know. Anyway, I mentioned the flashing lights. That was one of the simulations I saw. For smoke impairment, they would put like a hairnet on your face. And you trying to look through the hairnet. And I tell you what, it was funny. I was quartermaster, right? I think I told y'all that before, right? Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. But I was quartermaster. And, you know, they call away a fire forward. You know, I can't leave. So I grab my EAB, put it on, plug in, and I'm still trying to chart, right? Then somebody come over and put that damn vision impairment over my head. I'm like, seriously? So now I'm at the plot, and I'm like right up on this thing so I can try to see what the hell I'm trying to do. You know what? This ain't gonna work. You can't do that with real smoke. Well, when real smoke takes over me, I will figure something out. But for right now, this is stupid. Some people told me they use hair dryers to simulate heat and everything, and the heat is driving them back, and they gotta wait for the firefighters to come in the fire suits and stuff to fight the fire. And I was like, wow, that's really going above and beyond, right? Hopefully you can put that shit out with a fire extinguisher. I'm not saying that I would like to get burned again, but I would rather take getting burned by that heat than to let the whole boat get engulfed in fire. It won't take long. Look at the poor Miami. So, on a submarine, big metal tube, that heat builds up. You know, watch backdraft. You know, I gotta explain that to you. Google them shits. You know exactly how fast that shit'll go. What I'm saying is, I would take that heat, take that chance of getting burned, than to get burnt up. That's all it is to it. End of story. And the last funny thing about those drill simulators, I mean, maybe sometimes you don't have the strobe lights. Maybe you don't have all this and that. But you got to come up with something. And then you have some chief sitting up there. You come running up to the fire. And his chief was like, oh, I'm fire. Oh, I'm getting out of control. The fire extinguisher is not working. Crackle, 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 crackle. What? That's somebody that's taking their job serious. fire. I'm spreading. Oh, whatever. Oh, I gotta wrap this up, man. I've been talking for too damn long. Thanks for coming back, checking me out. I appreciate y'all a whole bunch. This is Sea Stories with Mr. Durite with your host, Mr. Durite. Until next time, peace. We ready to do this? We ready? We ready? Here we go. Ain't letting them get me down. No. Not at all. Yes, 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 yes. Welcome back to Sea Stories with Mr. Durite. I am your host, Mr. Durite. And the only way you can train is to... That's stupid. The only way you can train. Or you laying in a rack and you not close...